Welcome back, everybody, to our Road to 300 series. My name is Gabriel, and I'm your host for the series. We've recently made some changes to the series. We're going to rename it to the Road to 335 because that is the goal that we aim to hit. In addition, we're going to be compacting a lot of more time into these episodes. I realize that watching a video for 13 minutes that really only spans 2 hours of time, you probably want to get more out of a video than that. So we're going to be changing it up to compact 6 hours into one episode. So starting with this episode, we'll have 6 hours of gameplay, and you'll see how quickly we move up through light level, gear, etc. within those 6 hours. Right now we are 12 hours in, so that'll put us up at 18 by the end of this. First things first though, always grab the daily bounties, be it Vanguard bounties, Crucible bounties, House of Judgment bounties, although those are weekly. So are the Queen's Wrath bounties, those are weekly as well. But these things, especially with the April update coming up just around the corner, these will help you get higher level gear quickly by leveling up. Another thing I have to say is do the daily heroic mission. In fact, there are some daily heroic missions that grant you exotic weapons or exotic quests. This one in particular was Paradox, which leads to No Time to Explain, an awesome exotic weapon. It's a great replacement for the Black Spindle if you can't seem to get your hands on the Black Spindle. As you can see, we're showing where the ghost locations are, but we're not going to go through the specifics. If you really are trying to find, I guess, a good walkthrough through this mission, feel free to look up a different video on YouTube. Just search it on YouTube. You'll find plenty of walkthroughs. But back to No Time to Explain. No Time to Explain. Let's see if I can say it right. You can do the Vault of Glass pretty early on, which happens to be one of the requirements of the quest line. You have to do the Vault of Glass and be Atheon. Yeah. But besides that, it's an easy way to get an exotic. It starts out at 290, that'll boost your light quite a bit, especially if you're starting out from scratch, kind of like we did. And if you're having troubles, just grab a friend. 2 people is better than 1. Heck, 3 people is better than 1. So just grab a couple of people, you'll be fine. But back to this video, it did take me a couple of tries to do the second half of this mission, to do the side quest. It was probably a little frisky to do it at 244 when the recommended light level is 240, but it can be done. Maybe it was just my setup, I'm not sure. But I did get through it after 3 or 4 or 5 tries, I believe. It took about an hour, I know. But you know what, I'm going to go ahead and blame it on my primary weapon, which is a hand cannon. This hand cannon is awful. I don't even know, I don't remember the name of it because it was so bad. It only has 5 shots and it took forever to do this. The only reason I had it equipped is because it was the highest light level primary that I had, and before the April update you always had to have your highest light level stuff to make sure that you were going to get something good from the Cryptarch, and even then sometimes you didn't. In fact, I think I end up using this hand cannon for the entire 2 hours. I don't get another primary. Like, look at this. Here's the Cryptarch. We go through and guess what we get. We end up getting the exact same hand cannon, just lower light level, literally useless to us. It has 5 shots, like that's terrible. Not gonna get anywhere with 5 shots, but I guess you can because we did. But in any case, here we're going to be turning in the ghost to Lashmi and starting the quest for No Time to Explain, which just so happens to be one of my favorite guns. So I was really excited to get this started and get it underway. But just so you know, of all the pain and suffering that I went through in those 2 hours, here's some clips from the Crucible where I'm still having to use this hand cannon, which is totally inaccurate. Like, look at this. I shoot that Titan, nothing. Pretty sure I shot him in the air. I don't know. It just doesn't work. I wouldn't suggest it for anyone under any circumstances. There's actually a couple of times that I pull out my hand cannon during the match and I'm just thinking, what am I supposed to do with this? But here's a good clip of, I guess, not using the hand cannon. One, almost got the double. I was like, okay, well, I'll redeem myself somehow. Oh, I do have a super. Let's use that. Oh, I'm about to die. And I get it. Oh, yes, but then I get it as well. And while this is an awful match, it was just terrible. It went horribly. We get rewarded for suffering through 2 hours of using that terrible hand cannon. We get some spare change, which is way better. Trust me. Some of you guys have varying opinions on spare change, but trust me, it is way better than this hand cannon. In addition, as you can see, we picked up some peregrine greaves, and we're going to probably melt them into, well, actually we have nothing to melt them into, but we will hold on to them. So it turns out that we got more than just spare change from that game of the Crucible. When we started out, I guess the next day, we found out that we picked up the Orphine, which is an Omelon scout rifle, way better than that hand cannon. And it suits us rather well throughout the beginning of this episode. But it's not the beginning anymore because we changed the format. Anyways, it's great, and I couldn't be happier. So after a little while, we start picking up some stuff. It's great. Our light level's going up. We get they're all blue, just rare. I guess no, yeah, it is rare because green is uncommon. Yeah, we can just get some rare stuff, equip it. We're up to 257 now. And I guess during these 2 hours, we dedicated the time to doing the Vanguard strikes because you do get a quest from the Vanguard to do Vanguard strikes. And look at all this loot. It's wonderful. I have a feeling that it's going to help us out. I guess not. Nope. Well, it wouldn't be the first time that I've been disappointed. But here you can see it actually turns out to be Vanguard Heroic Strikes. And I know you have to do 5, so you'll probably see a lot of increase because from strikes you tend to get higher light level gear. Let's see. I swear, man, the game, I think it has some preference sometimes. It kind of tempts you. It's like, okay, well, I know you could get higher light, and we could totally give you stuff that would, you know, make you higher light, but we're not going to because you'd be accelerating too fast. Thankfully, we've been able to get up to 261, but that's not a very high increase, especially since we've spent about an hour already. We started this episode, I guess we would have started this episode at 250. In any case, we're here in patrol and we were just taking care of some of the quests that we had, like you can see the taking chrono shards. We also had something to do with missions as Val was asking for. And we got all that taken care of whilst at Venus, multitasking like a pro. We are lucky enough to find a Diluvian that's at level 275. Light level or attack level, I don't even know what it is. Okay, attack for weapons. But yeah, it's at 275, which puts us up at 265. And we just keep on cruising through some missions, quests, etc. This is Entropy's Pinnacle. We take out Oryx's Shadow. That's at the top of like this huge spire on Venus. Cool. We do keep on doing some more strikes. I'm not sure if this is Vanguard Heroic or just regular Vanguard. That Diluvian though, tearing him a new one. But yeah, we land a ghost that helps us out a lot. It's actually 266, putting us up at 269. That other ghost that we had was really slowing us down. And we end up finding, I guess it would be Hood. That's what hunters wear, a Hood. That's 275. That helps us out, puts us just over 270 at 272. And then we head straight into the Crucible. This is Rumble. And I am still salty about this game. Oh my gosh, it was neck and neck the entire time. I guess I was in the lead for a large portion of the game, and then at the end, I choked. I was doing so well. I mean, this gun, the kick on this gun, I always have something to complain about. Doesn't everyone? But the kick on this gun was just massive. And I was doing okay with it. But, I mean, I guess you can't win them all. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I lost the match. I think it was the first game I had lost in the Crucible since I had started this series. It was a little disappointing. It had me a little heartbroken. So I went ahead and played another game in the Crucible just to redeem myself. It's zone control. And I think we do a lot better in this game. I mean, wouldn't you do the same thing? When you lose a game, you just gotta redeem yourself. It's kind of funny because in this part I almost failed just miserably with a shotgun, like in this dude's face. I almost messed up, but I ended up getting a double kill, so it turned out okay. And here's a clip where I put the Delivian to work. I think it's an excellent LMG. If you can get a roll with good stability on it, because that seems to be a problem with it, because it's, you know, high rate of fire, it'll just go all over the place. But if you can get a roll that has good stability, you'll surprise yourself. And while we were fruitful in that game, we were able to come out on top. The awards were not so fruitful. But that's okay, because we ended up finding a cloak. Oh, that's what they're called, cloaks, not hoods. A cloak, that's 286, so that put us up to 273 at the end of those 2 hours. And for the next set of 2 hours, we started off the episode by doing the daily heroic. I have this tendency to skip going to the tower for bounties and going straight into the missions. It's always better to go to the tower. But in any case, we complete the mission, we head to the tower afterwards, we grab all the bounties, as you'll see here, and we move on. We picked up this new pulse rifle that's 274, which puts us up to 274 light. And we also switched over to Future War Cold in order to start the No Time to Explain quest. Thanks to my teammates who finished this strike, that way I was able to pick up this loot. Unfortunately, none of that was higher light, so it's not going to benefit us at all. And now that I look back at these videos, I do strikes an awful lot. I'm just kind of wondering, like, why did I do so many strikes? I mean, you do get the good stuff from strikes, don't get me wrong, I just a little curious about it. And if you look over, I actually have no super. I think I was just starting out with the Blade Dancer class, so I was a noob guardian. Unfortunately, the gear that we got from the strike wasn't that great, but we did find the Tarantella from a legendary engram while going to the Cryptarch and getting that all decrypted. I did try to look on lfg.net, which is a website that helps you find fire teams that are doing a specific activity that you're looking for, like a weekly nightfall or a raid, anything really. But I wasn't able to find anyone, so in the meantime, while I waited for any responses, I just went to patrol and did a couple of things, worked on some bounties, some quests, and our hard work paid off because we leveled up with the Vanguard and we got some 281 gauntlets, which put us up to 278. And then we went straight into the Crucible yet again. This time we were playing Rift on Memento. I'll be honest, I played very poorly this game, and we did end up losing. But there were a few good moments, like this one. But just so it goes to show, and for the record, that you don't have to win to get good stuff. We got a Red Spectre at 290 because we lost terribly a game of Rift. I mean, how much better does it get? In any case, the Red Spectre, because it's 290, it put us up to 280 light. And yeah, that's what happens within 6 hours. We went up about 40 light in 6 hours. Things definitely slowed down. I know this is I'm commentating after the April update, but before the April update, things were really slow. If you didn't I guess have friends to do activities with and go into raids all the time and whatnot and farm, it was pretty slow getting your light level up. But that's all for episode 7, guys. That's 6 hours of gameplay. all in one. So feel free to share, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in episode 8.